Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. We are finally getting a new animal started here with Ulrichs. We've got a few that got produced. Perfect, and now we're gonna throw those back into our repro complex, and then we'll start filling these buildings here, and we're gonna be off to the races. Pretty exciting stuff. It looks like we still need more barrels, actually. So let's keep filling this thing. We want to make sure the barrels are all backed up here, which it looks like we're close. All the buildings are saturated. So we just, in fact, yeah, probably this is a good amount here. Sweet. And then we need to finish the CO2 providing that we started last time. I need to put pumps in the network that's provided by bots, apparently. So let's go do that while the Ulrichs do some growing up. And we'll come back and visit in a minute. And yeah, we got all kinds of exciting stuff to get to. Oh, someone left a YouTube comment about a potential mistake I made with this. Yep. And they were very correct. So I don't want this one to stop because plasmids has to keep running to provide for green science. So I actually have not probably been producing green science for a while. Okay, it looks like we still are, but I'm guessing it was about to stop. Like if we look over here, our plasmid supply is running out and not being sustained. So that's important to not do. All right, so we need pumps. A pump is made from an engine, a pipe, and a steel. Which feels like we could somehow fit it somewhere around here. Oh gosh. I feel like we can do this. Pump. Because then we've got pipe right here. And now we just need a steel. Which, probably the easiest way is to filter you on steel. And then just bring that over here. And then we've got pumps available to the network. Cool. Minus the wood, which we can now do like this. Perfect. Okay, there we go. So pumps are good to go. The bots will be able to deliver those. Engine units take a hot minute just because there's so many small parts each. But that won't be too big of a problem. And then that'll finish our CO2 maker. And let's see. So for the CO2 maker, we wanted to bring this biomass out. And then, I mean, basically, this is gonna be like the simplest thing of all time. I'm literally just gonna throw these on the outside. Make CO2 from biomass, which is 5 a second. Jeez. Guess we only need 3. And then for 5 a second, I need 5 inserters. This. And then, let's see. Oh, you can't turn the ghosty ones. That's actually really interesting. That is kind of a huge downside of the, what's the mod called? Advanced Fluid Handling. Because we're probably going to get to a point where we do a lot of building in map view, but not being able to design that part in map view is kind of frustrating. That maybe means when we get to the ultra late game, we'll have to use just the planner, the editor extensions planner. Because not being able to turn those while you're designing it is definitely not a good thing. How do I want to do this? So probably a double here, and then we go that way. And then we've got a T-junction here. Okay, so there's power. We'll get light over here. And then we just need a big A tank. Boom. Boom shakalaka. And then someday we'll have a rare earth extractor. What goes into that? Actually, it won't be that far from today that we will have this. To be perfectly honest. Is this the one we're gonna do? I wonder where all the rare earth bolides are. No, they're everywhere. We've got... Oh, and there's also the ore itself. Interesting. If you have a bunch of naphtha. But that feels kind of wasteful on naphtha, because I don't think this one requires anything. So... that doesn't seem super useful. Okay. Anyway, so we'll get this out of the way of the bolide because we're going to use that eventually. And then we need to hook up this to this. So that we're providing the contents to the network. And we need you. Oh, I already set that to be carbon dioxide. Okay. I was like, how did it know that I wanted carbon dioxide? That's really funny. It didn't know. All right. That should do it. Boom. CO2 done. Now we've got a crap ton of CO2. And I'm missing one belt. There we go. Cool. So that's not going to be any issues moving forward. Let's go work on our Ulrichs. And then it will be moondrop time. Moondrops keep falling on my head. Nice little train ride, so satisfying. Have a sip of coffee while I'm riding the train. It's just a good time. Alright, so I'll grab all the Ulrichs. And yeah, barrels wise, I might need something like this. What was the overall barrel rate? I never even looked, did I? Wait, are you serious? We're moving 2 barrels a second? Holy crap. I need an actual loader? And then... I need to do this differently. There we go. I guess we don't need a loader. We could just do, you know, some sideways insertage. Hopefully that's good enough. Total barrel what? Nah, actually it's not. Shoot. So we still need a few more empty barrels. Okay, probably one more stack is gonna be enough. I like the sound that Ulrichs make. There's a little bit too much of a high-pitched something that like is a little uncomfy for my ears. Or they're a little too loud maybe. But I do like the noises. They're cute. Oops. No, 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 no. Those go there. These go here. Okay, with all of these running, we are getting 10 Ulrichs a minute, and we only need 8 each. So this will be done in less than 5 minutes, so I won't go anywhere. We'll just grab them from here, and then we'll keep plopping them in. Yeah, I think they're a little too loud for how high pitched they are, at least. And then we're gonna have this belt go to the train at some point. So that'll be down here. I can pick these guys up. And I think we probably need more pups now. Oh wait, we're still not doing enough barrels? Really now? I guess that's what these are for. Wait, 2.5 a second. Hold on. Hold on. We need more than one barreling machine for this? Now that is a new... I've never needed more than one barreling machine. That's just a whole new world of WTF for me. Never even considered the idea I could need 2 barreling machines. Didn't even know that was possible. What's the easiest way to do this? Probably that. That. But that doesn't work because of... This has to be like this. Boom. 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 And then we just need to do this. And then that, and then that. Alright, we're getting there someday. Empty barrels, water barrels. And are those going on to the same side? It doesn't matter, they're eating them all. They're all being eaten. Yeah, that's just way more water barrels than I thought we were gonna have going on here. Wait, 2 point. Kydax, you're still not mathing correctly here. This one actually needs to be a loader. A sideways yellow inserter is not fast enough. Which is crazy. I do think that will probably be enough. 50 more? Maybe not. Anyway, we definitely have enough Ulrichs to finish the modules out here. Well, maybe we don't. Oh, okay, we're very close. Just need 11 more? No. 13 more. And yeah, the water barrels now are getting close to fully saturated. I think that's probably good enough. Yeah, now things are running. Because we needed enough to back up and then also have enough that when the empty barrels are flowing, the fresh barrels are still flowing in. Alright. And is that enough? It's gotta be close. No, we're one short. One more Ulrich. Well, we got one over here, so. You are the final Ulrich. You're the lucky one. You get to help babies grow up for the rest of your life instead of, well, have your life cut short by being cut short. So Ulrichs are now provided. And my limit shall be, what shall be my limit? 0.4 a second is 1,200 an hour. Roughly. Whenever I do rough estimations of an hour, I call an hour 3,000 seconds. I realize I'm losing about 20% of my potential input there, but no, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to do this. So yeah, all I do is I just take this, I move the decimal 3 places, and then I triple it. Or you could triple it and then move the decimal, but I find it easier to move the decimal on the number that I'm looking at. So 400 and then 1,200. So I think we probably want like 2 or 3 hours of production. The stack size is 50, which means 1,000 is a train full. So maybe like 3,000, which is 60 stacks. Oops. And that will fit just fine into there. And then we've got plenty of Ulrichs. Sweet. All right, Ulrich farm is rip roaring ready to go. Why are some of them not running? Because they don't have enough pups. Why do we not have enough pups? Because these should be producing enough, but it's Exacxies. And because it's Exacxies, that means it takes a little while because we have to buffer all these extra Ulrich cubs. It's kind of like the Satisfactory problem, you know, when people talk about manifolds. The last ones take a little while to fill because these ones have to fill their buffers. And in Satisfactory, it's a slightly bigger problem because these buffers have to fill fully up, like to one whole stack. Which is usually not a problem with, especially with stuff like smelting or constructors. But with really slow recipes, it could take an hour for a manifold to fill up or whatever. But I think I've talked about this before, maybe even in this Pi series. I know I've talked about it before. I don't know if I've talked about it in the series, but just like the Satisfactory community is like very divided on whether to even use manifolds or not. Like there's a large amount of people that just don't like manifolds or don't use manifolds or think, and the worst part to me is that there's some people that I don't think they're very like knowledgeable about factory games, and you know, not because they're not knowledgeable, but just because like they're newer to factory games in general. You know, Satisfactory, I think because of the graphics, draws in a lot more of the just the non-nerd type, to put it one way. Like, you know, like people that are into the math or people that are into the mechanics. You know, there's definitely more people playing Satisfactory that are just like, oh, this game looks cool, let's try that out. Like, and I love that. I think Satisfactory does a really good job of catering to a slightly different audience than Factorio does. And I like that about it. However, my point is, with the manifold stuff, I think there are some people who get noob trapped into thinking that they need to do splitter, or what do they call it? Load balancing, I guess is the popular term, where you actually, like, if you've got 4 buildings you know, let's say these are the buildings we're providing for. People don't realize you can just do this. And let's imagine these are splitters in the Satisfactory world. Like, it's either they don't realize it or they think that for some reason that would be bad. Because there are people in the community that believe it's bad. Rather than doing something like this, where you like, you know, load balancing would be we split this one. And then we split this one, you know, so that we go to that one and then to this one and then we go here and then we split this one. Like, this is how a lot of people play Satisfactory. And I think it's a noob trap. I think in 99, maybe more % of cases in Satisfactory, that's not gonna help you. It's not gonna make your factory better. It's only gonna make things bulkier and more convoluted and more complex, and it will rarely save much other than a few hundred buffered items, which might only be a couple minutes of production at the end of the day, which you probably spent that couple minutes of production on building the splitter, you know, balancer nightmare in the first place. So all that to say, that's my little rant about manifolds. Do not be scared of manifolds. They're not real. They can't hurt you. Well, they are real, but they can't hurt you. The only time they would hurt you is if you were doing some sort of crazy nuclear pasta thing, you know, where you're only getting like one item every 2 minutes or something, and then you're waiting for manifolds to fill. That could waste an hour or two of production, you know, and that could add up. But that's basically it. Anyway, moving on. Oryx are now on trains. Sweet, 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 sweet. And I guess I want to put moondrops in here. This is kind of what we're doing. A lot of plants are in this block right here. I might... Wait, do I have more kimberlite? Or what do they call it? Diamond? Okay, what is this actually called? I hate when things aren't called what they're called. It's not called kimberlite rock, it's called volcanic pipe. Why is it called a different thing on the map view than this view? I don't get it. So volcanic pipe, aka kimberlite rock. We've got one over there, we've got one here, we've got one there, which we're not close to. We've got two up there, which I could get to. So this one isn't strictly necessary, is what I'm getting at. But why don't I... Why don't I add... Well, first of all, Moondrops has no requests, right? Right. It's literally just water. Oh, I love that. I love that about Moondrops. So I am just gonna need maybe a weak side provide. Small side. I feel like I should maybe change it to weak side because my brain just has weak and strong as, you know, antonyms. So provider extension. And how did those get built immediately? Were there... Maybe I built them before? Maybe I built them before. Also, someone... And they're correct. Someone asked me... Oh, no. I don't remember if it was on the Discord or YouTube, but they were like, hey, you saw that there was an extra rail piece on a junction on a three-way, but then you checked all the four-way junctions. And they were right. It's the three-way junctions that have the problem. Unfortunately. So I need to go check my blueprint for three-way junctions. What's weird is it's not all of them. So that's confusing. But it's definitely the newer ones are exhibiting this problem. So on that note, why? Why is this exhibiting a problem? What problem is this exhibiting? Oh, wait. Are we, what? Everything lines up with the 4-way junction. Is this not what I currently have as my blueprint? What's going on here? Oh, it must be the straight connector on this. Yeah, the straight connector is 1 tile too long, actually. Ah, and so when I straight connect onto the T part, it's 1 too far. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. So what I need to do is remove... Uh-oh. That feels really wrong. And I couldn't have even built it that way. That's annoying. But that doesn't make any sense. Oh, I see. This one's on the curved rail when it's that way. And then the next one will be a straight rail. But normally that signal would be on a straight rail. Okay. So I actually do need my straight connector to be slightly smaller. And it's very possible that that doesn't line up properly anymore. So, it looks like it is still lining up properly. Okay. So it wasn't the T-junction that was the problem. That makes me feel a little bit better, actually. And it makes sense why it's happening. Okay, well that's fixed for the future. By the way, I've mentioned this a couple times. If you would like the rail blueprints, hit me up in the Discord. They've been updated now, so now we have all this extra train stop stuff. So if you want all of that and you're interested in, you know, copying it, I'm not a proponent of copying people's blueprints, but for something like train stops or like lane, you know, belt balancers or whatever, I really think that that makes a lot of sense. You know, if you wanted to copy my base blueprints, that feels a little bit like, I don't even make base blueprints half the time. And even then, I don't judge you. I just don't recommend it because I think making things yourself is part of the game. But I think some people out there know enough about themselves to know that they'll actually have more fun with the game if they can copy certain blueprints. And I trust that some people are correct about that. I think the reason me and other people in the community recommend against it is because I think on balance, if there's just a random person on the internet that wants to copy someone's blueprint, the odds are they will actually have less fun doing it. And they're actually wrong about themselves in that case. Because it's like a human nature thing. Like humans want things to be, you know, humans want cheat codes, right? And like there's a reason people cheat in multiplayer games online all the time. Like there's something really fun about cheating. And so like, but it's been proven time and time again that cheating is actually less fun. You know, cheaters never win is kind of a silly thing that people like to, you know, you like to say when you're a kid when other kids are cheating. But it's like, it's kind of true. Like cheaters, even if they do win, they are actually still losing, and they're robbing themselves of a lot of like what makes things enjoyable, right? And I think in some ways copying blueprints can be cheating, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Like if you don't know what you're doing to yourself and you don't know exactly why you're doing it, you probably shouldn't copy blueprints. However, like I said, for certain things where it's like, honestly, like, I know I could do that, but it's not going to be fun for me. And I actually want to spend my time building all these animals and plants and construction chains, and I don't want to fiddle-faddle with rail blueprints, because that part of the game isn't fun to me, and I want somebody else's solution to that, and I just want that to be what I already have, and then I want to work on solving other problems. That's totally a fair perspective, and I respect that. You know, I just think there's a lot of people who don't think it through, and so they just kind of default to like, oh, I just want to copy someone else's thing, and then what they don't realize is that that's actually going to rob them of some of the joy of the game. Anyway, I'm so sorry, that was a total rant. We need more moon drops. And I actually don't. I decided I was going to start with 24. So 24 we have, and 24 we shall build, and over here we shall go. Sorry about that rant about cheating. And I mean, the same argument, if any of you have listened to the Factory Must Grow podcast, you'll know that we've talked about quality of life mods and quote-unquote cheaty mods. That's a pretty common topic on the podcast. And usually what we come down to on the podcast is a similar concept of like, you should use whatever quality of life mods you want to, even if they're cheaty ones like Factorissimo or, you know, Bob's Adjustable Inserters, I would say is fairly cheaty because it allows you to not only get faster inserters, but also to just do things you couldn't ever do without them. But that being said, it doesn't change the fundamental game that you're playing, and for me it makes it a lot more fun, and I know that about myself, and I don't think I'm robbing myself of joy by using Bob's Adjustable Inserters. You know, I'd argue quite the opposite. I think I have more fun with Factorio because of it. And, you know, like, my recommendation to people that are wanting to copy blueprints is to do that much thinking. You know, have you thought through, will you actually enjoy the game more with this? Because if you haven't, you might want to double check, you know, check with yourself. Wow, look at that. We could potentially fit a couple more. Interesting. And there's one in, one out. And the rates of all of it are going to be really low. I'm having a brainchild here. I'm actually going to do this and this. Because I think we're going to pretty easily be able to fit this all on one big long belt that kind of goes up and through. Not a sushi belt, just a long belt. And then we can fit the other one right next to it. Wait, what? I can't? I guess I still need to move this over even more. That would leave me no space. I want 2 spaces, I guess. And then that gives me free space there. Okay. Because what I think we'll do is we'll go, let's see, down that side and then up this side. Yeah. Okay, and then insert out, insert out, insert in. What am I doing? In, power pole. And then I copy that. And unfortunately, this is another one of those scenarios where I won't be able to fit lamps inside of it, which is kind of a bummer. And then the outputs are going onto the right side of the belt. Okay. So there's 8, and we have 24. So we need 3 of these chunks. And then when we double it, we'll have the other ones going that way. Which does mean we're gonna have a belt coming down. So I guess what I should do is at least get the belting proper. So the belting is gonna look like this, but I can deconstruct the other pieces for now. So the belt's gonna look like this. And then we're just gonna need a bunch of these. And that's where we want. Oh, I should have copied more than this. Wow. Okay, and that's where we want the seeds to go. So the seeds will go on the left side, on the inner part of the loop. And then this one, did we? Oh, hold on. Hold on. We did need to output seeds too, didn't we? Wait. Interesting. Not really. It was methane I wanted to make. Starch has... Wait, what the heck? What is this? Why are the I didn't... Oh, I'm in Factoriopedia somehow. How did I get into Factoriopedia? Okay, I was like, what the... How did I get into Factoriopedia, y'all? I actually don't know. Anyway, starch has a few different recipes, and I just wanted to see, like, what's going on here. So there's a guar bean seed one, powdered Rhodesia seed, and fiberboard and sodium sulfate one. And then the moondrop seed one is not till Pi 3 science. That's really far away that we would ever need moondrop seeds on a train. So I don't think I want to put moondrop seeds on a train right now. That's kind of what I was thinking about here. And then the methane piece, we could run moondrop seeds down along this way if we want/need to. This is a very tight fit, but I kind of like being able to fit something into the small side. All right, so we got this, and then, oh yeah, we have to do this weird, like, loopy with the moondrops themselves because of how that all works. The rates is... what is that saying? It's 1 in and 1.5 out. Okay. So 1 in, 1.5 out. And then... So at this point, this belt... I want seeds to be backed up. So that's moondrops right there. And then moondrops will go output priority left. But I need an additional space because we also need input priority left. So these will be the core moondrops. These will be seeds, but then we need the moondrops themselves. I could do filter. I could do filter inserters to output the moondrops themselves. But this will be fine. Anyway, and then the moondrops will output to the left. And then they come back over here. And we need to make sure they're on the same side of the belt, which is the right side of the belt, which is the top side of this belt, which is like that. Okay, and then that means the seeds are on the wrong side. They need to be on the inner loop. So there we go. Okay, that should do it for that. Get power hooked up here. And then I think now we just need water. How many? Wow. Only 30 water a second? Jeez. These are, moondrops do not need much to grow other than a little bit of electricity and sunlight. They don't even need very much water. Now, I am missing a vital piece of this, which is actual moondrops. You know, I maybe should have just ran sideways. I have some right here. I have a bunch right there, actually. Alright, so I guess I could just stand here for a moment. How many do I think I need? A set of 8 that are running will make me 13 a minute. That's still not that much, so I actually want to grab a lot here. And module slot wise, they have how many? They never tell me over there. I have to count. It's 12, 16. Okay. We'll go with that, 200 to get us started. And then drive back over to... Oh, I'm literally right here. I do not... Yeah, like I said, I did not need to get on a train. Just need to walk down here. Okay. So, moon drops. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Shoot. Seeds. We need seeds. Kind of forgot about that part. I'm going to grab them manually for a minute here. Alright, get these little blue flower seeds here. And those will just get distributed. How many do we need to start? Oh, 4. Perfect. And it's a 140-second recipe. Okay, I'll wait for a loop. I might go grab some more, to be honest. I don't want to wait 20 minutes to spin this up when we've already got a bunch that have been spun up and are backed up. I'll just grab all these. I'm okay to slow the cotton gut production for a bit. I mean, it's probably only 20-30 minutes that I just stole. Make 13. I might have stolen more. Yeah, well, no, half an hour is 400, and I probably stole about 400, so. Yeah, that's only half an hour. And since they backed up, they'll back up again someday. Oof. You know, I am being a little cavalier with running over the train tracks, but train traffic is gonna start to increase, you know, as we continue through this playthrough, and I'm totally gonna get run over, I think. I am totally gonna get run over. First set is almost done. How much do they make when they finish? Only 4. Okay. Only 4. Can you even distribution on modules? You actually can. Good to know. Good to know. I'm gonna go put these on the other end so that they get started a little faster. Unfortunately, they're gonna steal an extra 2 sets of seeds that they don't need. I see what I've done. Don't worry. How did that happen exactly? Interesting that I can hit the H key, but it won't paste over. Wait, but if I did this and this, would that paste over? No, it doesn't. Weird. Okay, well that's fixed. Fixed. Okay, so there's a bunch of seeds coming around. I'm gonna steal these so that we can get more cycles running. Okay, 32 is 4 times 8. So we can do that to get one more cycle. What's my current rate of production? If everybody was running, it's 24 a minute. Okay. So we're still a little bit away from this being done. Especially since it's not fully efficient. But we can let that run for a minute. It will turn all of the moondrops into seeds, so we should end up with more seeds than we need. So that means I can just steal moondrops from here time to time. Because this takes 5 in to give 7 seeds out, even if you don't count the fact that it's really only 3 moondrops in to get 7 seeds out, and I'm ignoring the little percentages. That is one thing that I've always found interesting. This moondrop thing has had this weird, like, 10% chance to get 1 to 3 back, and 25, like, that's been around forever, and I don't really get it. It's not, it's kind of out of place. The other plant recipes generally don't have this. Moondrops are maybe the first plant that you make. I think they are. Am I wrong? Maybe seaweed before moondrops, but like seaweed's crazy simple. Water in, seaweed out, right? So this is the first like flora loop that you get into. And I feel like this makes it more complicated than it needs to be. Like, why doesn't Ralasia have this? Why doesn't Kickalc have this? Why doesn't most other, maybe some of the other ones do that we haven't gotten to yet, but it's just weird that Moondrop has it when it's like the first one you get to. And it's kind of pointless, right? 10% chance for, on average, 2 moondrops is just saying 2.2 moondrops as a product. And then, you know, 25% chance for 2 makes it 7.5. So it's like, is that all necessary? Couldn't you just have 2 moondrops out and 8 moondrop seeds out and call it a day? You know, slightly less moondrops out, slightly more seeds out, call it a, yeah, I don't know. It just feels a little weird to have like a complex output on the first plant that players encounter of the like looping variety. I've always thought that was a little odd, balancing wise. I think it might just be a an artifact of older times, older design times. That's my guess anyway. And I'm gonna steal these extra seeds, put them on these guys so that these keep running. And then this is probably gonna be an episode soon. We're already at 50 minutes. So we can babysit this for a few more minutes, I guess. Okay, so put these all in. So now what do I need? 16 times 8 more. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Bud Shirley? Who's Bud Shirley? Are moondrops any good for compost? Probably not. I think they're too slow. Given how slow these are for this amount of space, yeah, I don't think moondrops are. They're not the solution we are looking for. These are not the droids. What are the droids we're looking for compost? I think it is just the wood. I mean, this, as complicated as this kind of got, it's not that big of a build for how much it's producing, and it's only going to get better when we get better tiers of buildings and such. If anything, it's the tree seedlings that's going to be the problem. There is a turd. Oh yeah, we looked into that. It just replaces moss with anthracene oil, which is arguably not even an upgrade. But yeah, someday we're gonna have a wastewater recipe for logs with fertilizer and carbon dioxide, and that makes 10 logs in 20 seconds as opposed to my 8 logs in 15. Wait, is that even better? Oh, wait a second. What? Oh, weird. That's not the best one. This is the best one. I just assumed the third one would be better. 10 and 20. But yeah, no, this one with fertilizer, 8 logs in 10 seconds instead of 8 logs in 15. Hold on. These recipes are the same recipe. Nope, one of them needs 60 ash. That's the one that needs more ash. Yeah, I remember that now. Anyway, this one is 8 logs in 10 seconds versus 8 logs in 15 seconds. So it's quite a bit faster. Same ratio of seedlings to logs, though. But yeah, it takes 2/3 the time, which means it's 50% more output. So I guess most of our speed upgrade in the future for logs is going to be Mark II modules and stuff like that. All right, give me more moondrops. Nom 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 nom. Surely somebody's done soon, right? Oh yeah, these ones are all almost cooked. The seeds are backed up to here, so that's already happening. Just want to get all the modules done. Okay, well there's 29 more. Oop, and here's more. Gimme, gimme, gimme. 38 more. We're almost there. Just a few more buildings to fill. And I think most of them are still running that actually can run, which is nice. So that means I can keep stealing the little blue flowers. Just need like, what, 40 more? 50 maybe? I know some of you would have bots do this and automate it, but there's something really satisfying to me about this process. I'm literally tending to the garden, you know what I mean? And that's just fun. No! Give them back. You took my moondrops. How many more exactly do I need? That's gonna be hard to count. What is that? 6 more. plus 9 is 15, plus 32. I need 47, I think, is the number. I could be wrong about that. Oh, the copper ore moondrop is going to be so good. I mean, it quadruples the output per building for the addition of copper. Like, it might even be worth it already. I mean, yeah, you have to mine a lot of copper, but then you just set up your moondrop facility next to a copper mine, and you're done, right? It is kind of a significant amount in terms of, like, beltage, but we can get copper stacked up with the miners. So if we have the mining happening at the same place as the moondrops, then we can have the copper ore on one side of the belt. And that's not too bad. So yeah, it's like, it'll definitely be worth it later, because that copper ore, we talked about this way back when, but that copper ore is replacing a bunch of complex ingredients. Like if we look later, look at these two. The 16 moondrop recipe, you know, the copper ore replaces biomass and fertilizer and ash. Already, like 10 copper ore is so much easier than 10 fertilizer. And then again, it's increasing the recipe time, or well, sorry, making it faster. And we're getting twice as many moondrops out. I guess not exactly twice as many. 7 seeds versus 11. But that's like 50% more moondrops per seed, right? Or wait, am I comparing the wrong things? I might be comparing the wrong things. Sorry, I was comparing the wrong things again. I need to compare these two. No, it is straight up, again, quadrupling, even at that stage. And then at the 32 moondrop stage, we no longer need pesticides, or gasoline, or fertilizer, or biomass. And it, again, it's quadrupling the output. And then the final one is also quadrupling the output. 128 moondrops every 30 seconds. One tier 1 building with tier 1 modules could already make me 4 moondrops per second with that recipe. That is absolutely nuts. Like, certified grade A bonkers. And I think we just need 2 more moondrops and we are good to go. If I counted correctly, which I very possibly did not. We have Exacxes here. That looks pretty good to me. Boom. 0.686, which is 2,400 moondrops an hour. And then those seeds should back up pretty soon. Now that they're all running, and I'm not stealing any of the moondrops. And then those get loaded into here. And what do I filter to? I don't think I do. I just think I let it fill up. Like I said, I'm not gonna need seeds for anything for an extremely long period of time, so I just don't need to worry about that for hundreds of hours. There we go. Moondrops provided. So does that mean I need to unhook that? Like, does that slow down UPS if I have a bunch of things hooked up that have a condition, but the condition's blank? I don't know. I could see it going either way on that, to be honest. Sweet. Well, we're gonna call that an episode then. We got moondrops all set up, which feels nice, and Ulrichs are going, and we did some other things. So next episode, we're gonna work on getting cotton gut production increased and on trains, which will be nice. Getting lots of these biological processes set up. Feels pretty good. All right, well, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.